Welcome back. David Heurtel in for Elias. The Depot Community Food Center in NDG is reducing its meal service hours due to funding constraints. This vital service, which has supported many residents facing food insecurity, will now operate fewer hours, impacting the community significantly. The center is appealing for donations and community support to help maintain its services. Joining me now is Tasha Lackman, Executive Director of the Depot Community Food Center. Tasha, welcome to the show.
Hello, David. How are you today?
I'm not bad. How are you doing?
Well, it's a busy time at the Depot. We're making really hard decisions that impact the community and the team, but that are the right decisions to ensure the longevity of the organization.
For those who don't know this great institution, maybe tell us more about, how long you've been working, how long you've been open, rather, and how many people you help, how many volunteers, employees, description.
Yeah, so the Depot has been around since 1986. We started as a food bank in a church basement and have really grown and expanded over the years. Now we have about 12 different programs across different pillars. So we continue to do our food bank. We continue to have our Resto Depot, which is our meal program, which is where we just reduced our hours. But we also have community gardens and all kinds of cooking workshops for people of all ages, after school programs. We have a range of programs all around food, and we really use food to build community. We're working not only to meet the immediate need in our community, which is growing, but we're also trying to build longer-term community health and mobilize for long-term change. And that's really part of this decision that we've made today, or earlier, that's going to happen next week, is that we need to ensure the longevity of this organization. And we know that if we continue to try and meet the needs of everyone in the community, we are not going to be a sustainable organization. And we're also not going to be able to address the longer-term issues, because food insecurity is an income issue. And if we're not addressing that, then the need is just going to keep growing. It's pretty remarkable, actually. I've been at the Depot now for just over 2 years, and the demand has tripled in that time. So we heard a lot about food insecurity during COVID, but actually since COVID, with the affordability crisis, the housing crisis, all the things that are affecting probably many of your listeners,
yes,
people are having to resort to food banks more and more, and having to resort to free meal programs more and more.
Tell me about your clientele. I mean, who do you see right now, and how has that evolved, say, since the pandemic?
The Depot serves a really diverse group of people. We see seniors and young families. We see lots of newcomers to Canada. Actually, we have a lot of people from the Ukraine over the past year and a half or so since the war started. We have all kinds of people. We have students. And a lot of these people have employment income, because whether if you're working, a minimum wage job, there's no way that you can pay your rent and also meet your essential your essential needs.
And so in terms of funding right now, what is your situation? Where do you get your money from? What kind of budgets are we talking about?
So the Depot has a $4 million budget. The budget's grown about 40% over the past 2 years. And as I think I said this already, but the demand for some of our core services has tripled.
I think you can repeat it. I think it's important to understand that. It
bears repeating.
It does.
Yeah, I'll say it one more time. Demand for some of our core services over the past 2 years has tripled. And during that time, the government funding has remained pretty much exactly the same. So, where once we had about a third of our, when I got here, about a third of our funding came from all three levels of government. And now under 18% of our funding is from the government. And from the Quebec government, which is meant to fund these kinds of organizations, only about 3.5% of our funding comes from them. So that doesn't even pay our rent.
No.
Doesn't even keep the lights on.
Of course not. So,
And
and you're the front lines. I mean, I was in the Quebec government. The organizations like yours are meant to do the work that the government should be doing. So you're the front line. So there should be more funding, of course, for you. So give me an idea in a normal week. And I know that there's no such thing in your universe, but I mean, how many people, how many lives do you touch?
We touch, we're opened right now for service 4 days a week, and we have at least 300 people coming through our space every day.
Every day?
Every day.
300 every day.
300 people every day, and many of those people are connected to families.
Sure.
So that, if one person comes in to get a, they might have a meal and get a food basket to bring home.
For four, yeah.
For four or for seven.
Right.
So we're touching a lot of people. I think in the course of a year, we're probably touching about 6,000 people.
That's extraordinary, and to your credit, to you and your team. And so from your perspective, and I ask that every time I speak to people that do the work you do, what is the fundamental problem? Is it housing? Is it lack of services? Is it city? Is it provincial? All of the above. What is the primary issue that is causing this crisis right now, this tripling of the need?
Thank you for that question, because that's the key thing that I want people to understand, is that food insecurity is an income issue. And so until we address the income issue, organizations like ours are never going to be able to solve for food insecurity. And so, we need more funding for our organization because the income issue isn't going to get solved overnight. We need more funding so that we're not reducing hours at a time where need is growing. That's clear. And what we need are long-term solutions to the income issues in our communities and across Canada. 25% of people in Canada live with food insecurity. The numbers are slightly better in Quebec, but it's nothing to write home about. No. About 15% of people in Quebec live with food insecurity.
It's scandalous. And I mean, there's stats saying close to 1 million Quebecers need a food bank, something like that?
Yeah, it's the numbers are extraordinary. And so it's an income issue. And you think of a food bank, we have to pay for our teams, and the logistics of managing giving out food is quite complicated. And requires not only the food, it requires professionals and a space and all of these other pieces. So there are solutions that exist. I think maybe you and some of your listeners remember the federal grocery rebate that was given out last spring. And that got about $500 into people's pockets based on an equity approach. And it used an existing vehicle. It used the GST system to get money into people's pockets. It was a one-off thing, but it's an open door. And so Food Banks Canada, Community Food Centres Canada, which is the organization that's our umbrella organization, we're really working hard to put pressure on the government for this solution that exists, which is a groceries and essentials benefit, which would get about $150 into people's pockets every month, and would allow them to not have to use a food bank, to not have to use a free meal program, and to be able to buy their own groceries. And that would be better for everyone. We're talking about more dignity, more choice, more self-respect. It's a much better way to support families in Canada in the long term. And the architecture exists. It's through our tax system. People who file their tax returns would have access to the right amount of money based on their income. And so these are the kinds of longer-term solutions that we need, because we are in a crisis that's not sustainable anymore.
Tasha, thank you for the work you and your team does every day, and I thank you for your time, and I hope things get much better for your organization.
Thank you for helping get this message out. It's a really important message.
Tasha Lackman, Executive Director of the Depot Community Food Center in NDG.